What's up, y'all? How you doing today? Bob the Reaper here, and I'm here today with a new series concept that I like to call How Would I Enhance? Now, this series is going to be based off how I would improve games that I love or would like to see in a better state than they currently are. I'm going to start this series off with Shadow of War. Me personally, I have loved this game, and I've played it since 2017. But after coming back to it, after a long year hiatus, I have noticed that it kind of lacks in certain areas. Specifically, the thing that we're going to be talking about today, Beast. I have compiled a list of what I would do to improve Beast in Shadow of Mordor, and add to them to add variety. Now tell me what you guys think of what I have done. Do you agree with my changes or do you disagree with my changes? And if so, can you tell me why? Now you may be wondering, well, why are you doing this? This game stopped being updated. Well, for one, I'm doing this out of fun, and it was really fun to come up with ideas to how I would improve this game. But also, I'm holding out hope for a Shadow of War remaster. I really feel like this game could use a next-gen remaster, maybe? I mean, I'm just hoping. But, that's all. Let's get into the video. Now, we're going to be breaking this video up into 5 different sections. The first section is about general Beast changes, and what I would do to Beast in general to make them more viable than they currently are. The second is mounted Beast combat, and how I would make it more viable of a playstyle, especially for orcs. The third is about a variety of beasts and beast additions. The fourth is about Beastmaster changes to make them more viable than they currently are. And the final section is about feral set reworks and other sets ideas that I've had. Let's start with general beast changes. Now, these changes aren't extensive. This is probably the least amount of changes that I have for this section, but I think this is all that is really needed for Beast to be viable. Now, what I would do is give Beast 100% more health. Beasts die way too quickly in my opinion, making them unviable as war beasts and even less so as mounts. Increasing their health would be a step in the right direction for making them more viable. In my opinion, 2 times their current health is a good amount of health to start with. That would fix so many issues that Beasts right now, them dying real quick. So just make them more survivable. Simple. Now, the only other thing I have in this section is just for people like me that like photo mode. Give us a way to make Beast war on command. Like a war button like they have in Ark where it's like, I think it's C to war. It doesn't have to do anything or give like a special buff or maybe you could do something like you war as like a grog and it inspires fear or something. You know, you could do something like that, but me personally, I don't really care for it. And I'd rather just have it be a normal war ability that is just for cosmetic uses and for taking cool photo mode pictures. Now let's talk about mounted beast combat specifically for orcs, because I feel like orcs need more changes when it comes to mounted combat. Starting with the first one I thought of, mounted beasts don't stagger as easily. From what I've experienced in game, mounted orcs suffer significantly from not being able to block or parry attacks from atop a beast. They get stun locked, unable to attack an opponent until their beast dies, and then once their beast dies, they're just sitting there, lying on the ground, wondering why the hell they walked into combat with a beast. So I think giving them a stagger resistance would stop some of these issues of not being able to attack. Now let's talk about mounted ranged orcs being more aggressive on beast. I feel like archers and hunter orcs should be more aggressive on beast than they are currently. Since their damage sources come from primarily ranged attacks, they would be best suited for riding a beast into combat, since they would be able to shoot while the beast provides support and mobility. Now let's talk about something more flashy. Some tribes have unique mounted abilities. Terra tribe lashes their chains around wildly, or a feral orc pounces off the back of the beast. A mystic orc teleports from the beast, and if the beast dies, he just teleports to the ground instead of falling over face flat. You could have a machine orc use their machine hook to drag enemies into the jaws of their beast. Or for the other tribes like Marauder, Outlaw, and Slaughter, they just throw shit off the back of the beast. These, in my opinion, would be really cool to see. Just imagine a terrible tribe orc just slashing around the battlefield, waving his chains all over the place, slashing and slashing and slashing. That would be sick. At least that's what I think. And now for the final mounted beast change or addition, I would say. Mounted defenders can joust each other in the fight pits. So you can have it like a random encounter, like you can have currently in the game, from what I know, you can have mounted you can have grogs fight each other in the fight pits. You can watch them happen, or with this edition, mounted defenders joust each other with a whole bunch of orcs watching. I think that would be a nice attention to detail and would just be interesting to watch. I mean, to imagine an orc jousting each other. Now let's move on to a variety of beasts. Now for each beast I have given a sort of ranking. You have your standard beast, you have your special beast, and then you have your strong beast. For Caragors, you got your regular Caragor, then you got your Caragath, and then you got your Dire Caragor. Caragath will be a stealth-based, agile creature that can hang off walls, hide in bushes, and dodge attacks better than a normal Caragor can. They also do a more stealth damage, and their stealth kill animations take a lot less time to finish. But they have a lot less health than a standard Caragor, making them a less of a war beast and more of a beast preferred by assassins and captains who plan on setting up ambushes. Next we got Grogs. Now you got your standard Grog, you have your elemental Grog, and now you have your legendary Grog. Legendary Grogs are extremely rare, powerful Grogs that use charging and ground slam attacks to take out their foes, occasionally picking up orcs and throwing them around, or eating them depending on their mood. Fighting one is a difficult task, but dominating one is even more difficult. Now let's move on to Drakes. Drakes, you got your standard Drake, you got your elemental Drake, and you got your legendary Drake. Elemental Drakes are similar to elemental Grogs, with the slight difference of shooting Bellfire instead of poison streams when you have your poisonous Drake. Legendary Drakes are huge boys. A Drake that can see eye to eye with a Grog without raising its head. This Drake prefers to fight grounded, engulfing the entire battlefield with flames while eating orcs whole. Really, the only reason I've suggested this Drake is because I want a traditional style dragon that fights on the ground and just spews fire across the battlefield. That's what I kind of want, and that's why I suggested a legendary Drake. Also, I just thought of the idea of cursed creatures like a hellish Drake, or a devil kitty, or ghouls from hell or something. You know, ghouls that are, or creatures that are cursed from, or have been experimented on by mystic orcs, and they just look deformed, they look strange, and cursed drakes shoot cursed breath instead of fire. You know, that's just something I thought of real quick. Now let's talk about Beastmaster changes, because to be honest, I feel like Beastmasters are quite underwhelming in their current state. So to fix that, I will give them a few abilities. Some are rare, but some all Beastmasters have. Starting with Bestial War grants a unique enrage buff. This enrage buff makes beasts attack faster, gives them the ability to pierce through beast-proof orcs, basically making them able to deal damage to these opponents, grants them a Beast Slayer resistance, and makes them unable to be dominated. This would be a really strong tool for a Beastmaster to have in the fight, especially when sieging a fort, at least in my opinion. Another Beastmaster ability I would give them is the rare ability to summon elemental grogs, either the grog specific to orc or specific to region. So if it's orc specific, then the orc can summon whatever type of grog is specific to him on any region. If it's region specific, the orc summons a grog based on what region he's in. You could have both. Technically, you could have both, but you might not want to have both. And another ability I will give to Beastmasters is an extremely rare ability to ride grogs. At first, I was hesitant for this because it kind of seemed outlandish and too crazy, even for Shadow War. But after I met Stompy, I changed my mind, and it's really cool. Would it be useful? Probably only to like archer or hunter orcs, because they can just throw stuff off of it. But I also thought the idea of an orc has this entire gang on the back of a grog, sort of like a troop transport kind of thing. I thought that would be cool, but it might be too outlandish. Finally, let's talk about the Pharaoh set rework I was talking about earlier and other set ideas that I've had. Now, I was going to put this all in the video, like have all of the words and stuff in the video, but I don't feel like typing all of this. So, I am going to put all of this in the description below. Everything you see in this video will be in the description below for you to read if you want to. Or you can read it from the Reddit post that I just posted. Anyways, let's get into the Pharaoh set rework that I'm talking about. Pharaoh's Sword. Player deals 100% extra damage against Beast. Pharaoh Dagger. Beast gain might 25% quicker. Pharaoh Bow. Shadow Mount requires no arrows. Pharaoh Armor. While mounted, the player and Beast have a 40% defensive boost. Pharaoh Cloak. Tamed beasts deal 30% extra damage after feeding. This ability lasts 10 seconds and then goes on a second cooldown. Pharaoh Rune. Summon mount cooldown is reduced by 60%. Now for the set bonuses. Now, if you have 2 pieces of gear on, Call Mount summons multiple beasts. For instance, a pack of Caragors, a duo of Grogs, and a pair of Drakes. Now for the 4 pieces of gear. When a player's health is at 30%, allied beasts get an enrage buff, the same enrage buff that I suggested Beastmasters get when they use their Bestial War. This would be the perfect Beastmaster set for people that want to play with Beast, and it's way better than the Pharaoh set that we have right now. And now it's time for a new set that I like to call Shelob's Brood King set. The sword, you deal 30% extra damage to an opponent that is poisoned. For the dagger, stealth kills summon spiders. Bow, charge shots launch spiders at opponents. Armor, players gain a damage resistance depending on the number of spiders alive on the battlefield. Cloak, spiders do not attack the player. Root, spiders have a 50% chance to terrorize a target. If the player has 2 pieces of gear on, players gain a small amount of health every time a allied spider attacks an enemy. If the player has 4 pieces of gear on, spiders have 50% chance to detonate into a cursed explosion when killed. This is a specific beast set for spiders and for players that want to roleplay, not roleplay, but like have a build focused around spiders and Sheila. Now for a one-off thing that I did, because I couldn't think of a full set, I call this the Ghoul Lovers set bonuses. If your player has 2 pieces of gear on, Call Follower summons a cluster of ghouls, and Call Iron Guard summons a cluster of ghouls and a ghoul matron. If a player has 4 pieces of gear on, each time a ghoul gets a kill, the player critical hit chance is increased by 65%. Now for a concept that I've thought of called Karnan's Blessing. It is a rune. It is a single rune that you can equip, but doesn't have any connection to any set. So it's a one-off rune that the player can get. This rune allows the player, changes the player's call mount ability to a summon Karnan ability. This will summon a legendary Karnan beast depending on what the player has equipped. These beasts will be the strongest beast in the game, outclassing every other beast in the game in every way. Now that's all the changes that I have for everything to do with Beast in Shadow of Mordor. My next video will be about Nemesis missions, which I am most excited to do. I'm sorry that if I got a little lazy there at the end. I just did not feel like typing more stuff. I mean, typing out the whole all the Pharaoh set changes that I did, and I mean the set changes in general that I did. So I apologize for that. But next time it won't be the same because I will be more motivated to do anything. Right now it's really late and I'm gonna go to sleep. So hope you guys liked the video. Like and subscribe for more better content. Tell me what you think of the video, and just give me your suggestions. I want to hear from y'all. What do y'all suggest to be in Shadow of Mordor? You know, I will be posting more of these videos because I really enjoyed making this one. So yeah, tell me what you guys think. I'ma head out. Peace.